Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I would like to talk about the Loft command. You're probably wondering, okay, this is odd. We all know how to use the Loft command, but there is something about the Loft command that I don't know how many of you have picked up or noticed that, but it makes quite a big difference. I also use that in several of my videos. I don't know how many of you noticed that. How I've used the Loft command. Sometimes things goes very fast and maybe you didn't notice that, but I'm going to highlight it over here because I've seen people asking about it, something that it's missing that they can't see all the time, and I'm going to explain exactly what it is. So there is tip 2 kind of situation, for example, that we are going to use this Loft command. One, it's when we have two sketches, and and obviously another situation and where we can also use Loft with bodies, surfaces or profiles. Okay, so we can combine it, profile, body profile to a sketch profile, and so on and so forth. So but what I want to highlight it's this one. When we use, for example, the Loft command between those two profiles, as you can see, the options here that we get connected, and then we get direction. In the direction, you get the option to choose, how it is going to, connect it between each other. I'm not going to go into so much details, but there is something else, but that some of you probably also noticed, that sometimes you see that the options are different. Suddenly you get G1, G0, G1, and G2. And it can be a little bit confusing. How come sometimes I get only directions and sometimes I get G0, G1, G2? So that is the reason. The reason is because it depends what you are lofting. The G0, G1, and G2 will only show when you're lofting a body surface. Okay, for example, if I'm going to use this profile and to this profile, for example, okay, so you can see now it recognizes that this is a body, it's not a sketch. Okay, so we use the body's profile, and now it asks us, okay, how do you want to connect? How do you want this connection to be? So you can choose between G1, okay, and you can also choose between G2. So these two kind of curvatures options that we get, and as you know it also from the fillets, we also have G1, G2, and so on. So now we can get it. But you see, the bottom we cannot have this kind of option because because this is a sketch, and so this is why. And sometimes if it was between one body to another, let's do something crazy. For example, let's see if it's gonna work. I'm not quite sure. And let's take this one. If I take this face here, and this face here, and it's a new body. See, now we get these two options here. I can say, okay, I want this one G1 and this one also G1, but you can see it's a little bit too much, and it's actually what happening, it's intersecting itself. So it's not gonna work, okay? And you see, it really needs to do kind of a U-turn, a very extreme U-turn in order to get to the other side. So it's not going to work. But as you can see, when working with two faces of a body, that's then you're going to get the G0, G1, G2. I can show you another example. And this is where you probably noticed, maybe some of you noticed that, because I'm using the surfaces environment quite a lot. So if I go to, again, surfaces, and I'm going to go to Loft. So again, I have the option to use between two normal geometries right here, and it's exactly the same. Or I can also go over here. And if I have, you see, I'm just left clicking a few seconds just so I can pick the edge of this one here. And I'm going to also pick the edge of this one right here. Now, as you can see, I have these two options. I'm just gonna hide all the sketches, and you get these two options that I can play with. As you can see, I can choose G1 and I can also choose G2, and the same goes for the other one. Now there is another new feature that they have added, and you can see it in the surfaces environment, that it's the free edges. That's basically tells us how, as they're asking us, okay, how do you want the edge of the loft to behave? How do you want it to look like? So here it's a free edge. It basically means that the system is gonna take the surface priority and not so much the edge, how it's gonna look. And if we're gonna choose align edges, so as you can see, it went down because we say, okay, we wanted to align between those two, and so it's gonna be more straight, okay? As you can see right here. And then also we have the option to do align to surface, and that's yeah, it's a good question. Exactly, I cannot give you the technical, but you can play with it to see exactly how it behaves. So yeah, but anyway, it gives us the extra features, and it's really nice. It saves us the need to create a rail here, okay, in some cases. Now what is going to happen here is when I'm done with this one, so these two I'm going to ignore. I don't need them anymore, okay? And I'm doing it sometimes. So strategically, I'm saying, okay, I need this option of the G1 and G2, but I only have the sketches. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna, you know, let me just go back here. Where is it? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna do an extrude, okay, of those sketching, okay, those geometries. So I can use them to create the loft, and then I will be able to get the G1 and G2, and then I can just ignore them afterwards, okay? I don't need them anymore. So again, it's a lot of strategies many times here, and you've seen me many times before, creating some kind of bodies or sketching that in order to get to someplace else, I'm using few steps in order to get there. So this is one of them. And yeah, so don't be afraid to use this option, this technique. And yeah, you can really get really cool stuff with G1 and G2. Any very kind of interesting transition between profiles, as you can see right here. Now I created one half, I can create the second half, and I already have some interesting, I don't know, vase or whatever. So you can do some really cool stuff with these two, with all these options. So play with them, and remember that there is a difference between lofting between sketches and lofting between body surfaces, okay? And it will give you different options. Yeah, and this is it. And again, if you have any question, need any help in anything regarding Fusion, just contact me on my website and my forum. There's a link in the description. And I don't know if you noticed my last video, I made this really nice, cool guitar, Gibson. And I haven't made a video yet. It's going to be maybe a huge video, I don't know. But if you are interested in learning how I created this one, there are tons of techniques. So let me know. There's also a link in the description. There is a place where you just need to vote. And just remember to register, otherwise you won't be able to vote. It takes only a few seconds to create an account. And yeah, this is it. So if you also want me to make a video on something that you think that can be practical for many other people, just again, contact me on my forum, let me know. And maybe I'm gonna make a video about it. So till then, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.